In my past video on Resident Evil fan games, there were a number of comments on fan creations that I missed, enough to make another video. If you haven't checked out part 1, check the card or the link in the description. That video looks at over 20 fan creations of Resident Evil. I'll have all the games featured here and where you can get them in the description below. Some are standalone, others will require certain base games to play, and others will come out at a later date. Do know I might use total conversion mods, fan creations, fan mods, fan games. I might use the term interchangeably. With that, let's hop in. Of all the fan creations I didn't cover in the previous video, the Left 4 Dead 2 Resident Evil campaigns were mentioned more than any other. It shouldn't come as a surprise that fans took the world of Resident Evil and placed it into Left 4 Dead 2, Valve's series of action horror co-op zombie shooter. This led me to firing up Left 4 Dead 2 for the first time in 7 years. These maps are designed by Roku, the first 3 Resident Evil games in all their glory with the game mechanics of Left 4 Dead 2. There are a few minor changes to fit better with how Left 4 Dead 2 plays, but you'll be right at home at being able to navigate around with your other companions. Resident Evil 3 shouldn't come as a surprise that the tanks replace Nemesis. Continuing with Roku and with the Source engine, he also ported Resident Evil 1 to Half-Life 2. We're playing as Gordon with Alex Vance around. You'll be right at home with the layout of the mansion, the 1996 version mind you, with some nice little Easter eggs about. It's also nice to have Alex saving us from becoming a Gordon sandwich. As it only has about 1 billion different mods, should it come as a surprise that there's a Skyrim Resident Evil mod? Evil Mansion is a reconstruction of the Spencer Mansion to fit into the world of Skyrim. Fun fact here, although it's a meme with how many additions Skyrim has, Resident Evil 4 has it beat, 11 additions to Skyrim's 9. Although I'm sure in between the time I record this video and release it, Todd will have another one in the pipeline. So if you're ever in the mood to reinstall Skyrim, install a bunch of mods, play the game for a few hours only to uninstall it, admit it, we've all been there. Why not give Evil Mansion a spin while you're at it? Want to see what RE1 would look like in RPG form? Check out Resident Evil RPG Rebirth, a fan game made with RPG Maker. This fan creation has a simple turn-based combat system, although we don't get any experience. We'll find items and ammo along the way to increase our attack power and defense, and we won't be going it alone. It wouldn't be an RPG with a character party, would it? Don't go into this one expecting a ton of depth, but if you're a fan of RPG Maker games and curious to see the first game in RPG style, give this one a try. Since we're looking at the first game in the series, let's return to the original style and look at some other fan creations you could check out. Aidan Watkins was a creator that has a number of works I featured in the previous video on Resident Evil fan games. Here are a couple of others you can look at. Want to see how Wesker escaped at the end of Resident Evil 1? You could do so yourself with Wesker's mod, where you play as, guess who? Wesker. This is a very short mod. You have a 10-minute timer to get from the labs up to the mansion to escape. Good luck on this one. You will have very few resources and a ton of enemies in between you and escape. Although there is an easy mode if you want to try something a bit more manageable. If you want something a bit sillier, check out his Resident Evil Hunter mod. We play as Chris, as a hunter. Go crazy and slash down enemies, with the zombie models replaced by STARS members. Taking heads clean off makes for a good laugh. Speaking of laughs, there's something very humorous about a hunter Chris talking to Rebecca or trying to play the piano.
Whoa! What is it?
What? Oh no! Sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
You must be from the Bravo team.
It's me, Chris.
One fan creation that I was going to cover in the previous video was Resident Evil Gaiden Remake. remaking the top-down Game Boy Color title into the classic Resident Evil style. I removed it from the video as there were creative differences and it looked like the project was dead. Aiden Watkins and a few other notable figures in the modding community stepped away from the project. However, the project is still moving forward. There's no indication at the moment of when it will be complete. For updates, you could check out their Twitter, which will be linked in the description. Another one that was mentioned frequently in the comments was Resident Evil 2 Origin of Species, described as a director's cut of Resident Evil 2. Pretty much everything has been changed here. Critical path, item locations, weapons. There's a bit early on in Claire's campaign where we have next to no resources and have to make our way down the street past a ton of liquors. This part was one of the most tense experiences I've had playing a Resident Evil game. Good luck with this one, it will kick your ass if you don't know what you're doing. There are a few options for infinite ammo or an easier mode should you wish. If you played the OG Resident Evil 2 a number of times and looking for a change-up, look no further than this fan creation. Of all the fan creations of Resident Evil 2 that I came across, the Umbrella Experiments is the most unique. Sherry gets a call from her mother and tells her to head to the police station. This is another tough mod that'll kick your ass. Although choosing the easier difficulty is hilarious. You can play Sherry with a machine gun with infinite ammo and blast anything down in your way. And that includes kid zombies. Yep, we're going there. The musical choices can be interesting, to say the least. I guess this is considered death metal. There's only about 1 billion different genres of metal. Not my cup of tea. Makes me wonder what other kind of musical choices could be made instead. What about some classic country tunes? Plus, on the easier modes, you could get Sherry a rocket launcher with unlimited ammo. It takes away the tension, but it is a goddamn hilarious sight to see. You could also play as a shirtless Leon and go kick some zombie kids' asses, more likely the other way around. This one isn't for the faint of heart. Are you a fan of Resident Evil Survivor, one of the earlier spin-off titles in the series? Want to see it remade in the Source engine? Well, a YouTube channel named DPM Studios has been working on a remake for a few years. A couple months ago, he announced that every room is now finished, although puzzles and monsters still need to be added in. His videos talking about the development of the game has this YouTube of old charm to it, the low-quality mic and Bandicam logo at the top.
Hi everyone. In the last video we took a look at the Umbrella offices, which, layout-wise, hadn't changed much from the original. This video will be quite the opposite, and throughout the duration I'll explain some of the major changes I made and why.
It's hard to say when this one will be coming out, but it's one to be aware of. Another fan game that was mentioned frequently in the comment section of the previous video was Resident Evil Cold Blood, released in 2006. This is a co-op first-person mod built in the Source engine. The team who created this mod went on to create Cry of Fear, a highly regarded title. Hell, the first search in YouTube is a pyrocynical video of Cry of Fear. It's at nearly 7 million views from just a couple months ago, calling it the best free game that you've ever played. After a number of years of lying dormant, the team is putting together a Rebirth mod with some major updates in line. When this will come out is left to be seen. You could still play the older version. There's a video I'll have linked on how to install this one. There were a couple of Doom mods I covered in the previous video, but one I missed was Mercenaries. It's a great display of showing the versatility of the old id engine. God bless you, John Carmack, for being such a proponent of releasing source code. This is more or less the Resident Evil 4 Mercenaries mod in Doom levels, so while it's not as refined as the in-game Mercenaries mode, it's a fun experience seeing it within the Doom engine. One interesting surprise were a few comments mentioning fan-made recreations of Resident Evil in the Far Cry 5 level editor. There's quite a number of them as well, including some Outbreak maps and also Survivor. I had a nightmare image of a future Resident Evil title turning into an open-world checklist simulator. You climb large towers to reveal more of the map, and everything is tied to a progression system. Don't even think about it, Capcom. Bummed out that Resident Evil 5 moved away from horror? Check out the Night Terror mod. While it doesn't cover the whole game, only the first 3 chapters as of writing, it gives a nice spin to Resident Evil 5. Switching to nighttime and adding in rain, it really amps up the number of enemies and throws new ones into the mix. This mod has a much darker atmosphere, akin to the village in Resident Evil 4 when it was raining at night. I have more to say about this one, but I'm going to save that for an upcoming video. A video that's been a long time coming.
I've got him, Chris!
So there are some more Resident Evil fan games for you to check out. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out the previous video for other fan creations. If I missed any fan games in the previous video or in this one, do mention them in the comments. If I collect enough, I'll do another video down the road. If you're interested in supporting the channel further, check out my Patreon where you can get access to videos earlier, get featured in the credits here, get my weekly newsletter. Thanks for watching everyone. Boulder Punch out.